Hey, this is Carla from the Butcher Babies.
This is George Corner Fisher from Cannibal Corpse.
Hey, this is Rex from Kill Devil Hill. It's Wednesday 13.
This is Dad from Devil Driving.
This is Motorist from Quad. You're listening to Rabid Noise
on Rabid Radio.
Turn it up.
Thanks for joining us on the show, Rob.
Oh, that's okay.
Now, Laceration Mantra have just been announced for the Black Mass 2 Mini-Fest at the Crowbar, December 17, with Disentomb, Advent Sorrow, Eternal Rest, and Shifting the Paradigm, which is it's a pretty solid lineup, man. What can we expect from your set on the night for this one?
It's a really good, solid lineup. There's a lot of little differences in there. It's a varied lineup. Our set, Punishing, I think we're going to unleash a brand new one for that show that's never been played before, so that's going to be fun.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You guys been writing some new tunes?
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing now. When we're not going into rehearsal like for a gig, we're in writing mode. I've got about 7 songs that have to be run through the band filters and start putting them together. Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's exciting, eh? Well, you've played with some of the bands on the bill before. Who would you say that you've done the most shows with out of all those guys?
Oh, well, I can't wait to work with Shifting the Paradigm because we've never worked with them yet. As far as my dumbass brain can remember, I don't think I have. I think, our history with Disentomb goes back to Rosie's, so probably them, I would say.
Yeah, that is going back a fair way back, Rosie's.
Yeah. No, that's back in the early days of Disentomb, I think. Yeah, when they did their first CD, I think we worked with them that night. And I can't wait to work with Advent Sorrow too. That's going to be really good.
So it seems like all those bands, they've all, they've gone off and, including you guys, like toured Australia and done quite a fair bit of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a really good lineup. Like, we're yet to go overseas because the right deal hasn't come along for us yet. But, Eternal Rest have just come back from overseas. Disentomb are, they're touring legends now. They've been everywhere. It's a good bill he's put together. Yeah,
it's going to be awesome, man. And, you're, of course, no stranger to playing festivals in Australia. Which has been the most memorable for you so far?
We were down in Melbourne earlier this year and we played Insurrection of Darkness, and that was the best for us as a band, and the crowd response was just nuts that night. The crowd just went off. It was just solid death metal, blackened death metal, those sort of bands. The whole bill was that, and it was just, it was really, really good.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And you of course, just been announced to be opening for Marduk and Gorguts at the Crowbar.
Well, that came out of left field. No, look, absolutely stoked to be on that, but, and we'll be doing our best to get as many people along it as possible. For all the listeners out there, I am going to have cheaper tickets to that show, so hit me up about it. I don't know prices yet because it's only just been announced, but I will have tickets for sale to that, so let me know if you want any.
That's unreal, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. No, it's going to be big. I think that'll be a huge show.
And, well, you've done some pretty awesome supports in the past, like, Christian and Grave, and most recently Destroyer 666. What's been the most significant gig out of all those ones?
Out of the international support so far, I mean, we've played at the Hi-Fi Flat Max Watts with a couple of them, and we've done a few at the Crowbar. So far, the guys that we've worked with who we really enjoyed working with, who were great fellas, was Dead Congregation. Those guys were just like a bunch of mates. Really good. The type of guys that, if we were on tour with them in a bus in Europe, it'd be no problem to be on the tour.
Should do it.
Oh, look, I've hit them up, but haven't got anything back. So you never know. See, that's one thing. If you're lucky enough to work with international bands, you never know your luck, that you may come across a bunch of guys who really like what you're doing and may say, come overseas, we're doing a bunch of shows in Europe, come over with us, You just never know.
That's right, man. That's right.
Yeah.
And, of course, Laceration Mantra have been going for quite a few years now, where a lot of bands in the scene have come and gone or on breaks or hiatus. What's kept you guys, driven to keep going?
I think it's okay. For me, I'm just a metalhead, so it goes back to that. The other core of the band, it goes back to them being in Misery. Anthony and Scott having been in that band. Scott's never ever stopped doing anything. He's always been doing something all the way along. Anthony's dipped his toe in the water of some other different styles along the way on drums, but it's all death metal's at his core. So having those two guys and me in the band being just metalheads through and through, I think that's what the essence of it is. Scott and I are doing all the writing, so him and I get on really well together as a writing team. And then you add Glenn into the mix, the new guitarist, who death metal's a bit of a new foray for him. He's played a lot of cover bands and he's done some power metal stuff before, but death metal's a bit new to him. But the man is a shredder, and he's got a right hand that's made for death metal because he can pick like a demon. So he's fitted right in. He's played some solos on the new album. So yeah, it's a really good solid unit still, and we're on the same page with where we want to go writing. And like I said, we've got a bunch of new songs that we're working on already at the moment. So hopefully we can turn around the new album in way sooner than 4 years, which the last one took due to lineup change in the middle of that and et cetera, blah, blah. No one really wants to hear. But yeah, hopefully we can turn a new one around in a couple of years would be great.
That'd be awesome, man. Well, you released Infested earlier this year, and you hit the road in support of it. Yeah. Where did you find you got the best response? I think that was the show we did in Melbourne at Insurrection of Darkness coincided with the release of Infested for the Melbourne for the Melbourne CD launch. So that definitely was the best. Just due to the lineup of bands that we had, and the other shows were all good. Brisbane's always solid, that's a loyal fan base there. Sydney, we're slowly getting a bit of a footing there, but Sydney's very hard. Canberra have been good to us the couple of times we've been down there. The problem we had with Canberra last time was, silly me decided, let's play Canberra on the same night that Iron Maiden are playing in Sydney. So that was a little bit of a problem with crowds. I think the first time we were in Canberra we did way better, but we still did okay in Canberra. It still helped us out on the tour and gave us some fuel money and, some beer money, which was great. So the Melbourne show for that tour was the best. I think with Brisbane not far behind it. We do have a few shows up this way booked, starting with the Black Mass.
Yeah, we're doing that one for the end of this year, and then we start the new year, January 21st, at the Back Room for his 10-year anniversary. And then we're off to Bendigo in Victoria for Ozpocalypse on the 28th of January. And then where are we doing then? Then it hasn't been announced yet, but we're at the Valve Bar in Sydney with Damon Fetal Harvest and Burial Chamber and another couple of bands on the 4th of Feb. And then we're back in Brisbane on the 11th of February at the Globe Theatre for Return of the Wolves.
That sounds like a bunch of really good gigs coming up for you guys. Yeah,
and then March the 15th, of course, with Marduk and Gorgut. So, yeah, we're got a good run coming up.
Awesome, man. And
so we've just got to keep the writing going as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So how far off can we expect a new release?
I'd be realistically at least a couple of years. But with the way we're working, with whatever else comes along, like I said, we're slowly we've got 2 new ones. We'll definitely unleash one at this show on the 17th. Probably a second one somewhere in those bunch of gigs we've got coming up. And then we'll see how we go. We'll just keep working away and, see what happens. But I'm going to be pushing for a couple of years. We'll see what happens.
Well, man, better to make sure it's awesome than rush it, right?
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, man, can't wait to hear those new tunes. And, of course, looks like we have a couple of more of those shows coming up together, which you mentioned. So Shifting the Paradigm will be playing with you on December 17 and at the Back Room. So I'm looking forward to doing those and having some beers with you dudes.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Yeah, definitely come and say good day.
Awesome, man. Well, we're going to go to the track Blood Out now. Thanks for hanging on the show, brother, and we'll, of course, see you at the Crowbar on December 17th.
Thanks, mate.